Hello everyone, Mark, Fractals and Forks, 9th of December 2017. Quick look at $CAD starting with the monthly. So let's look at the big fork. Why do I think it is valid? It's because we had support here and we had resistance here. This to me gives me enough confidence to keep it on the chart on a monthly basis and to look at the sliding parallels that might be in play during the course of the validity of this fork. So where are we now? We are still under the median line, which to me is still bearish. Only a close above the median line would make me bullish on $CAD. So what is actually the level to look at? Bullish invalidation, bearish invalidation rather. That's like 1.3017 approximately. When we get a close above that on a monthly basis, then you gotta start looking higher. Why am I so interested now in $CAD? It's you see the 50 line from this fork. It's been resistance here and it was support here, so there's some kind of symmetry. This could mean that we are if this is an ABC correction, wave 1, then this could be wave 2, and we could be going into wave 3, which is the longest and the strongest wave, as you well know. But please keep in mind this is a monthly chart. We are at resistance. We haven't closed above 129. 129.05 basically. So as long as we're under there, I still think we're going down. What are all these lines? Well, every line I draw is like support resistance. So a very important line here is 128.35. A close below this would be needed to validate my bearish stance, so to speak. Why is that? Because it was the high here in March 2015, support here in October 2015, and you can see that price reacted a couple of times to that level. So pretty important level. We need to get below there. What else? Targets. I've got my first TP1, so to speak, here at the monthly reversal support level from last October. So that would be my first target, which is about 124.85. And ideally, obviously, because if this fork is valid, it's a modified shift, by the way, then we should get to the median line, and that's why I put the second target a bit lower. If we reach the median line, then for me, even though we didn't hit the upper and the lower parallels, the fork could be in play. And so second target is the median line. Whether it's going to be in February here or even in January, we don't know. It's also possible that we only get there in end of March, which would put us right here at this red sliding parallel, which was resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. It took a while before we got through it here. So this is also a level that's pretty important, and especially since it was support here. Okay, then the next targets are simply, fib extension from you know, the high here, low here, high here. We got equal legs down at 115.64, and if this is wave 3, then we should probably yeah, let me put another little circle here. You know, that this would be the minimum target actually. If we say that this is not an ABC, anyway, I'm not gonna go on about Elliott wave. Okay, let's look at a weekly, just to show you where all those lines come from. So some lines are from way in the past. So this red line, I'm keeping it on here, hoping we're not going to get there, but you never know. And this line is from this big fork here. It went below the lower parallel, but turned around, so this could be a level 2, so that's why those lines are still on the chart. As you can see, if this fork, this huge fork that you know, it's the lower parallel here, we went below it, we tested it again, we went below it, we tested it again, we went below it, and we're testing it again. So is this the last test? Yeah, I hope so. If we zoom in a little bit more, you can see also here on this fork, you know, 50 lines, symmetry again. The fact that we're back here again could mean that this resistance zone, it's quite a big zone. It's like what is it? It's like 90 pips. This should hold again to stay bearish on $CAD. Target, same, the reversal here, 127 basically. That would be on a weekly the first target, and that would give also a pretty good indication if we drop from here that, you know, the direction is still a lot lower. Same thing, I didn't, you know, let me put this here somewhere, and this one here. Okay, next one on the daily, same thing. Why these lines here? I can I keep them on here just so that I know where they come from. Zooming in, well, same picture that, you know, I explained on the monthly and the weekly. Resistance zone here. We've got a fork here where we got, if I zoom in a little bit more, which actually held on Friday, which could be a indication that this fork, or even this trend line, so to speak, is it's actually a trend line from here. So, you know, it's actually just a simple trend line. Put it in blue. I always put trend lines and parallels that I draw in blue, just so that you know. So this is actually trend line, and it held. So what does the fork do if trend lines do the same thing? Well, with trend lines, you don't have an idea where you know your targets are going to be. So let me just put, I always like to put, and I didn't do it in this case, a 50 line on here. So that would be something to look at if price goes down. Look at the 4-hour chart, same thing here, parallels, this huge consolidation, 50%. everybody thought here, oh yeah, 50% will be enough for excuse me, for a retracement. It didn't, and then everybody was looking at a 61.8, and it never got there. It turned right before the 61.8. Okay, now if we zoom in, we got a fork again. Oh, I should have put some coffee here. Not really precise, the fork, but we got a reversal here, 4-hour reversal, right before the close on Friday. So let's see if that can continue, and a first target would be, you know, 128 as a round number, and then lower. And now we come to the chart that I posted on Twitter. Excuse me. The hourly chart. So let me zoom in. What all these lines mean. Obviously, this is like a bearish invalidation line. You know, it's the high from here. This is something from TradingView. It's like, you know, a theoretical trade setup that I did, and that would mean, so price closed at 128.45. I'm thinking resistance, and I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. So I think resistance now is like 128.60, and the trade, the theoretical trade, you know, would trigger a little bit lower at 128.56 with a stop a few pips above the high here, and a target on a median line. Okay, and it's a 1 to 2.5 risk reward setup, which is not bad. And there are obviously other setups that you can do. You can say, you know, okay, my stop is only going to be above this high here that we had on Friday. You could do that too. So a stop, let's say 10 pips above 128.80, so 128.90 wouldn't be bad either. Why I put the stop so high is because of these lines. If we connect the lows here, we have a slope, and I just copied this slope, obviously, and I put it here. So if the fork is not valid, let me delete this again. If the fork's not valid, then we could still have some symmetry with parallels, and that would put price, let's say on Monday, if we do go up, should stop at below 129. Okay, I'm gonna stop here now, and thank you for listening.